Hello there, welcome to another episode of TechChef Africa. Today happens to be the last episode of season 2, and I go by the name Nana Ifwabeniao, and I am your host for today's episode. Today we are going to have a conversation around women in tech in the banking sector. And our guest for today's episode happens to be Patience Manful Essuman, who is actually a woman in tech and has been in the industry for over a decade, if I am right. So without further ado, let's welcome Patience Manful Essuman. Sis, welcome.
Thank you.
Please, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good by God's grace. So, I've been chasing her for a very long time now to have her on TechChef Africa. The last time I saw her was around 2018 or 17, I think, when we did something with Comfort Ghana.
Yes.
Around Tamale. Yeah. So, welcome to TechChef Africa.
Thank you for having me and calling on me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, quickly, we would want to know what you're cooking for us today. Then once we are done with that, we'll just go straight into your background as a woman in tech, and let's say growing up and why you chose this this career that you are in now. So what are you cooking for us today, please?
Okay, so I'm doing contemporary stew. Someone will say palava sauce and rice. So that's what I'll be preparing for you guys today. Okay, so we have contemporary here, our main ingredient, tomatoes. We have dry herrings. We have agushi. Then some garlic, some salted fish, and some seasoning. We have blended shrimps. Then dry blended shrimps. Yes. Then eggs. We have salmon, or how they call them, Kobe. Yes. Then we have canned beef. Then we have pepper, onion, red oil. Yes.
Interesting.
Then, yeah. So
I really like your set. The ingredients, the protein, and everything. It's like, for me, I just can't wait for you to finish cooking. So which one are you going to start with?
Okay, so I'll first of all put the consomme on fire. Then, let me put the Kobe on fire to take away the salt. Then the consomme will go.
All right. All right. So I guess this will go here so that you can put your.
Sure. All right.
All right. So whilst you do that, can you tell us a little bit about you growing up, life experience as a child growing up?
Okay, so we have some hot water here, so I'll prefer to use it so that we'll be quick. So growing up, I grew up like in let's say I'm the only child of my mom.
Oh wow.
Okay, so growing up was a bit I don't know. I didn't decide on what I want to do growing up, as to whether I want to enter into tech. No, growing up, I wanted to be a journalist. Yes, I wanted to read news on TV. So we'll quickly also put the consomme on. Can I please add the other batch?
Okay, sure.
So we have some more here, which I'll be adding. So growing up, I did this, as I said, I didn't make a decision to be in the tech industry. I wanted to be a journalist. In fact, I even went to a journalism school. I studied broadcasting. And I even worked for a while as a public relations officer.
Oh wow, interesting.
Whilst working, I worked at I think I worked at Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park on the High Street.
Yeah.
I was working there. So during my time there, I got a chance to work with the direct secretary of the I worked with the secretary of the director there. So I picked some few things from her, which that is typing and all that. And along the line, I realized that when I come to work, I'll be in a haste to. Can I get a pour?
Alright, sure.
Okay. I'll be in a haste to go and type. To go, I want to do what she does behind the PC.
Okay.
So one day I was there and the administrator called me. Because the dry herrings is a bit hard, I like to peel it and cook it in the bowl for a while.
Okay. I'll get you a bowl.
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so I will. Where was I?
Okay. And yeah, then you can eat. Welcome.
So there was an administrator by then. So he realized how I find computing or being behind the computer very interesting. So he called me one day and advised me if I can go into tech. That's around 2009. Between 2008 2009.
Okay.
So, and the man told me, I was contemplating, but the man told me that in few years to come, the way it's going, it's really going to boom. And if it booms, it will be exciting to have women in the space. So I didn't even know what he was talking about. So I think I went home, I spoke to my mom about it. He bought into it. Then I quickly switched. So I looked for school and started computing. So when I started, I was the only girl among the guys. So honestly,
was that?
So I did a distance studies.
Okay.
That's University of Wales.
Okay.
But I did it through IPMC.
Okay. Okay.
So
okay.
that's what I studied. So whilst I was studying, honestly, switching from the arts in the journalism sector, because I studied, that was my interest. In fact, growing up, I can stay behind the dressing room, makeup, and take a news graphic paper and acting as if I'm reading news, because that's what I wanted to do. So switching into the tech space was it wasn't easy.
It was a bit challenging.
Yeah, it was challenging. Because I remember my first semester in school, when I wrote my first batch of papers, I failed all because the switch was a bit difficult. It wasn't like what I know, the reading, the reading. No, this one is more technical. Yes. So in web development, this I had the HTML that now I see and I laugh. Like, it wasn't easy by then. So basically, that's how I entered into the tech space, like the tech industry. So when I failed, in fact, I nearly gave up because Charlie, you can't be among the guys. But I took the course again, those courses again during my second semester. Whilst I was doing the second semester, I took them. Yes, but God being so good, I passed all, and even the second semester, I made distinction and all that. So that boosted my confidence. So I started. Basically, that's it. Then I continued till I finished the school.
Interesting.
So that's the beginning.
What a story. What a story. In fact, I really like the storytelling. Now, this is the beginning, actually.
Yeah.
Let's just move to the in-between and how you officially renounced yourself as a pro. Because honestly, when you mentioned her name in the space, she is an acknowledged woman who knows her stuff when it comes to software development. So after adaptation at school, when you were done with school, what was next for you?
Okay, so after school, I want to pour some cold water on it, and I'll shake it for a while.
All right.
Okay. So my next thing will be to blend my tomatoes.
Okay.
So after school, I did my national service with Ghana National College in Cape Coast. ICT. So during that time, I was able to mentor some few students, and they were excited. They were, especially the ladies, they were so excited to see a lady in tech and all that. Please, can I get a blender?
Oh, there's the blender, so you can just move here and blend
and
your
blend.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. At Ghana National.
So I taught ICT for during my national service, and that was exciting. So when I came back from national service, then I started coding. Was, in fact, let me go back a bit. Even in school, coding wasn't something I wanted to do, like programming. I wanted to just finish and be a database administrator somewhere, just have the surface parts of the work and all that. But I realized along the line that no, as the space is growing, no one wants to pick just a database administrator. They want to pick you with other skills. So I quickly, I had to talk to a mentor of mine. I quickly had to just add the programming to it and be serious about it. And I quite remember when I was in school, let me go back a bit. What I did was I spent some time to learn coding extra. I think we were in school, we studied Visual Basic, VB. Okay. So, and it was a bit confusing. But what I did was during Saturdays, I'll go to my lecturer's house. But then it was our first light. I'll go there, go there with my backpack at my back, go and sit down. So even when I complete, the mother even knows, everybody in the house knows me because I wanted to learn extra. So like he was impressed with the way I kept coming in. So in fact, he didn't hide anything from me. He taught me very well. Extra, So right after school, after my first degree and after my national service, let me move forward again. So after my national, then I got a job. I got a job as a junior software engineer. That's with Image Ad. They are an agric tech company. So they provide agric tech solutions for the agriculture sector. Yes, so I was working there. I worked there as a web developer and an Android developer as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's mobile.
For how long?
So I was there for like almost 3 years.
Interesting.
Then I got another opportunity to be the lead software developer in one company. So from there, my confidence started coming up. I started good. So from that tech company, then I got a call that there's this savings and loan bank that they need an IT person, but they needed a female in their team because they had only male. So I applied, I was interviewed, and I got it. I got it on merit. It's not because I was a female. So that is it. Let me add some onions and pepper.
Okay, sure. So fast forward, when you got the opportunity to work with the bank, right? What was your role within the software engineering thing? Because for me, I believe that when you say engineers, it cuts across from UI, UX developers, some of them also call them designers, to the front end and to the back end. Definitely researchers also falls under software developmental part of an organization. So which department were you working with? Okay, so I was with the IT software database database team. So when I started with the banking, especially with the savings and loan, that's where I found myself. So basically, when I was what we do is I was coding. At the same time, running they already had a core banking application that was managing their transactions. But what happened was they also needed to do integrations with the core banking. So, as the bank grows its
as the bank grows its services, they build on the core banking. So basically, I was building things to merge with the core banking that they have. Most we call those things bridges or middlewares.
Please take that again. They call it.
We call it bridges or middleware. So that's like a software that stands in between an existing software and something else. So yes, something else as in another application. Or yes. So that is it.
Interesting. I think your contemporary is done. It's well cooked, and your Kobe is also well cooked. So at this point, I'm not cooking for her. So I'll leave her for her to come and drain it by herself. But for now, let me just clear this for Patience. So now let's talk about your early career stage. When you joined the bank, right, the banking sector, what were some of the challenges, right, that you faced in your first year or two as a woman?
It wasn't easy, but when I joined them from the beginning, it really wasn't easy. I had to find a way of adapting.
And what were some of the strategies that you used to adapt?
So one thing I also realized that in the banking, in the IT session of the banks, you know, they run end of day transactions. So the end of day transaction, what they do is they try to merge or bridge the day's transaction, refresh the core banking application. I'm starting with this too. So I'm
please go ahead.
Okay. So in the end of day transactions, what they do is they try to refresh the core banking application to accept new transactions for the next day. So it's more of closing the previous day and starting a new day. So
closing an account of the first day or transaction.
All transactions. All accounts that transacted the previous day, balancing them and all that. So that one we do, normally we run shifts and we do it overnight. So what we do is we run shifts. So I can be on duty today and I run end of day and start the core application system by 5 a.m. Because 8 a.m. you don't know who will start transacting by 8 a.m. or even I say 8 a.m. by 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. people are already transacting. So when we put down the core banking for running end of day, the core banking doesn't work. So that's when you go to the ATM and you realize that it's not working.
It's not working.
So being a woman,
so that's how it works.
All the banks run end of day. Depending on your core banking application that you are working with. So that's what happened in the space there. So working among the guys, going for night and day. You can go for night, close Sunday morning, Monday morning you're at work. And for morning
to evening. So sis Pat, when you were talking earlier, you mentioned that initially you didn't fit in, but you were able to find your ways around to fit in order to make sure that no other skills or potential that was in the room more of like dimmed your grace or your skills or women power. So how did you overcome that situation?
So with that, what I did was I focused more on how best I can fit in the space, because that was my first time in a banking industry. So and I had to look for how I need to look for how I can understand the workflow there. And honestly, because the guys were, I don't know whether I should use the word insecure or they want to intimidate or it wasn't easy. They were not sharing their ideas with me. So what I did was, when I'm on night shift, amazingly because the night shift, all of us in the team must run it. They made sure I understood what I have to do when I come to night. So when I come on night duty, after running the end of the day or during the process, I take my time to go through the core banking and to know all the tables, the database, what the tables are for, what they stand for, what they do. Because sometimes we have to generate reports for the various departments upon request. Imagine you don't know a table and they ask you to generate a report for a specific
week or day.
You struggle. So that's what I did. So when they bring work, she can't do it, she's new. She can't, that's the excuse they always say, but by the time they realize, I've done it. But one thing also, our head of department, the guy by then, he wasn't forthcoming, but I kept going to him. I was persistent. Let me use the word like that. I was pushy. I'll go to him. No matter, I had to overlook whatever they are doing. You know, some of this is because we are women, emotionally breaks us down. We are very emotional. In fact, the equality is there. We are fighting for equality. But let's talk about women. How God made us. Your emotions will break. But in fact, I won't say it was easy. There are days I can go into the washroom, let me say this, and try, and I'll cry and just come back again. And come back again. So what did you say? Like, you know, I was pushy. I was pushy. So I was with them for like 4 years. I became good. It wasn't, I remember my very first appraisal with our head of IT. Oh, the man blasted me. But I didn't give up. Because I realized that because I'm now joining the space, I needed to understand the business in the banking.
It is not just about the technicalities, but how.
It's not about your technology you are bringing on. You can code. But you need to provide the solution. You need to understand what they are doing. So I spent time during the night. I'll go through the system, the desktop or the machine they've provided for us. I'll go through it, and that was how my learning in the banking and understanding the business in the banking sector started. So I was there for 4 years. Then, after I told you earlier, I had a mentor who took me through Visual Basic. So when I was there, he called me that he had a project in a country. That was Rwanda. So will I do it? Should I quit my 8 to 5 job and run away and go and do this? It's a project. Hey, I didn't really think about it much, honestly. But I responded, I'll do it. So from there, I joined him. I eventually had to resign because I can't travel far from that.
Doing that job.
And lo and behold, the project he called me for was for a bank. So sometimes I say you don't know how the preparation, your preparation is like. You never, if I had given up because the guys were behaving like that, when I got the bigger opportunity, how will I have fitted in? No, but because I already know what the business flow is like in the basic business flow, let me use that, in the banking industry, I quickly responded yes. In fact, I didn't even know that it was for a bank. I just said yes. And another thing I want to say, sometimes when opportunity knock at your door, you don't need to think about it too much. I'm putting the salted fish.
All right, which is the more money?
The more money. So I'm using just one. You don't need to think about the opportunity offered you too much. you have to be ready for it.
Okay.
You just because in this tech space, it's about recommendation.
Yeah.
It's about people that trust your work. So me, I just responded yes. Then he said, okay, I'll get back to you. So later, I was there and he called and he said they sent me the work. Brought the work and I saw that no, it was one of the big banks in Rwanda. So we're going to build an ESB. We are going to build. They had bought a ESB that they needed software engineers to build APIs with. So I quickly, in fact, I didn't even know what the ESB was. In fact, I didn't even know what ESB was by then. That was enterprise service. It's about like more of channels. We create channels for third parties to communicate with the bank.
Okay, so it's more of like, let's say, a fintech company who is partnering with a bank to provide a services for their customers.
Exactly.
So that kind of API.
That kind of API. So what happens is you can't communicate directly with the core banking application of the bank. No. Who will do that? So there should be some bridge. A middleware between that and that. Our rice is also cooking.
We will just leave it for it to get well cooked.
Okay.
All right.
So I wanted to check on the dry herrings to make sure that it's softening up small. So I traveled. Eventually, I accepted and the money was good. In fact, when I look at the money, my whole year with the and the per diem was good.
We will come to your kind of say negotiating for your wages or salaries when it comes to working as a woman in tech. We'll talk about that one, but you please go ahead with what you were saying.
After I joined him, I realized that that was more of consultancy. So I'm not going in as a full-time worker for the bank. I'm going to consult for the bank and I'll come back to my country. So I realized that no, then there is good money there. Then why don't I build my skills? My skills very well, so that when they need people like that, the man can continue. He will recommend me all the time he gets the opportunity. So honestly, that is how I entered the banking sector with my tech or my programming skills. And that is it. When we talk about being a software engineer, you just don't program. You take care of the architecture of the software. You take care of anything surrounding the software. So as I said, when we go into there's already an existing core banking application. There are other applications that must be built on the core banking. You help to design, you help to see how the workflow will be like. So that is how
please come here.
That is how so now I'm pouring in my tomato. I think I'll have to leave small.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Let me know when you want me to take it.
Sure. Thank you very much. So I'll add my seasoning.
Okay.
Then I'll go on and add my dry, because it's hard. So that is it. Basically, that's my story into the
entering into the banking sector, finding yourself in the midst of men, trying to believe in yourself and taking up opportunities even when you knew that you were not ready for it. Interesting. So once you are done with your fish, we will talk about you blending, because I know that aside working in the banking sector, as a consultant, sometimes too, you get more of like gigs around. And currently, our sis is a married woman. So the next thing we'll talk about is how you are able to blend family relations to work relations, how you are able to find a balance between that. So to whomever who is watching, who also find themselves in this kind of position right now, how can they find their balance in order for them to be unique in both parties, which is being a family or a mother, and also being a consultant working as at a bank. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the question. So one thing I also said I always thank God for is how He directed my path. Being a software engineer is a skill that is part of you. Nobody takes it away from you.
Yeah.
So whether you do an 8 to 5 job or you do it's part of you. When your skills are needed, you'll be called on.
Yeah.
So it makes you a boss on your own. Let me put it like that. Combining it with marriage was not difficult because I was doing consultants and I wasn't doing an 8 to 5 job. From where I stopped that 8 to 5 job, I've never done any 8 to 5 job again.
Okay.
Yes. Because I realized that something good was in there. That's the money and your freedom. You become your own boss. Nobody restricts you to technologies. Like, because you find yourself in a certain space. I've worked in a place that they said if you want to code, don't do PHP, do Laravel. Probably, I'm not saying it's a bad combination of framework, but maybe there could be other tools somewhere that if you use, it will also help. But because they've boxed you, you become so limited. So being a consultant gives you that free will to try new technologies and learn how to apply them to solve problems. Okay. So getting into the consultancy space was, I would say, it's a positive thing. I will encourage people because, well, first, as I said, I will encourage ladies, especially if you want to have time for your family when you marry and all that, because it's a skill. We want no. He can't so it's the same thing. Coding is a skill. Me, I see it as a vocation, like something that you learn and it's part of you. Nobody takes it away from you. So that. Okay. So basically that.
So let's divide this into two. On a typical day as a married woman, what is your daily activities like? Then we'll come to on a typical day as a consultant. What are some of your daily activities? Then let's get to know how the two are able to merge. So maybe, then we know maybe, you during day you work at blah. So let's start from home first. On a typical day as a married woman, how does your day looks like?
Okay, so on a typical day, I do normal women duties, cooking, cleaning. Okay. Everything a wife does.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Everything a wife does, I do them on a typical day. I wash, I clean, I do everything. Yes.
All right.
Basically that.
Yes. And on a typical day as a consultant, let's say you have a project that you're working on for a client. What are some of the activities for that particular day, and how many time in terms of hours do you allocate to that, and how do you find balance in performing your responsibility as a wife or as a married woman to performing your responsibility as a consultant to make sure that you are kind of providing everything that the client needs on time, and at the same time performing extremely well at family house. Yeah.
Okay. So because
now I know that you are wondering why I am kind of trying the eggs here, basting it here before I bring it here. The main reason is because sometimes some of the eggs are spoiled, right? So in order not for us to get everything messed up, especially if one out of everything that I've done here is spoiled, I just try and bust it here to make sure that it's good before I pour it here. So I guess today you've learned something new, especially if you have about 2 or 3 eggs that you'll be using. Try this hack.
So as I said, my life is always on the go. One thing about the consultancy job is you have to be ready all the time when you are called on, because you don't know where, when whatever you are working on in a bank will have a problem.
Yeah.
As much as I code, deploy, I provide support. So if there is something that goes wrong with the core banking or with the application, they will call on me.
Yeah.
So my life is always on the go.
Yeah.
I plan my life such that I'm ready. I don't entertain. I want to
take
the agushi.
Okay.
Let me come in here.
All right.
Because I would like to soak it more in water.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So when I'm called on because there's a situation at hand, I quickly have to rush there. And one other thing too, I built very good relationship with my clients. Honestly, when I enter a place, right from the security to even the reception and all that, I built very good cordial relationship with them, so that all the time when I get a chance to go and work on site, you won't struggle. The teams I meet, I blend with them easily, whether they are guys or women. And you need to pay attention. Every environment and what is required of you. Yeah. Every environment is different. It's not like you have the 8 to 5 job that you are stuck in. So you learn one style of work. This one you can work in another at a place. You go to another place. The environment is totally different. Where these people will accept this, other people will not accept that. Yeah. So you need to know how to fine-tune yourself in such places. So that's how I maintain my pace, and I'm always learning. Because when they take you as a consultant, they believe you can solve all their problems. Yeah,
that's very true.
So
that's very true.
What I normally do is I mix my agushi with the egg.
Any special reason?
So that I can get it in that fluffy bake. So that one there is a mude.
Yeah, me too.
It's a mude.
That
kind of thing.
Okay.
I want to add more. Oh, I think it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. There's still. Okay. Let me wash the water and the remaining. So I'm always learning, because they expect that you can do more than they are already.
Keep it here.
They already in existing stuff. So when they call on you, they're expecting that you come and do magic. So you should be able to read around various technologies, explain why they can support. And because I'm in the banking industry, you can't just pick any tool online and work with them because of security reasons. And others don't like free stuff. Yeah. It's not like it's not good to use free stuff for a project in the banking sector, because you are dealing with people's money, transactions here and there. So
everything has to be built from scratch.
From scratch, and also
bought from potential.
And with very good tools. Okay. Tools that have good support, and they are not free. So those are some of the things.
Even if
I'm always learning. I am always, when my Twitter and I follow updates, Java, the tools that I already know.
Yeah.
I follow those updates. So the moment they release and they tweet, I see. Then I quickly go, oh, so we are...
Which is being proactive in your working space.
Yes, so we have, Java 11 is in. What does it come with? What does it come with? I quickly blend with it and I try to learn what new things are they introducing to this new update. So I take it up from there, then I learn. Okay. So the moment I get a project and I see, you think, because you are consulting, you don't really have a team. Or sometimes I also get projects, let me put it like that. So in consulting, there are different types. You can win projects on your own and do it. A company can win projects and look for consultants to come on board and come and work. So either of them, you should be ready to know your roles and to know what you are to provide for the people. So basically, that's it.
So I can tell that you are almost done, left with just your Kobe and your contemporary to go into your stew. So when we get to that point, I want us to talk about negotiating your salary as a woman. I'm not going to generalize this for women in tech, but I'll do it as a woman because I think sometimes we women tend to be very vulnerable when we are negotiating what we really deserve. Sometimes we think that, if we go high, they will think that, hey, Sheno. And one thing I've actually realized in the space is that a man and a woman can be, especially here in Ghana, a man and a woman can be playing the same role in an organization, and the man will be taking higher wages than the woman. And this is something that I hear a lot in the ecosystem. I've experienced, I've seen very close friends also experiencing something like that. So I would want you to talk about it and let every woman who is watching, it shouldn't just be like you are working as a woman in tech. It could be in anything at all, from the formal to informal sector. How can we women negotiate our salary and stand for what we really deserve in an organization? But I will let you answer that when you are putting your Kobe and your contemporary into the stew. All right, so Sis Pat, you can go ahead. And how can women, when it comes to salary negotiating, how can women negotiate well to get what they really deserve when it comes to the right salary that they need to take? This one, I'm not going to limit it to women in tech, but I'll just leave it as general for women.
So I would say that in negotiating for your money, what is due you, what you have worked for, you should present your case or yourself such that there shouldn't be any difference between you and the guys.
Okay.
Honestly, it's something I've worked at a place that I took. I got a salary even more than some of the guys there because I know my staff. And one thing, let me put it this way: we need to build our self-confidence. It took a long time for me to build that. It doesn't just come because the kind of when you meet the guys, even if they don't know the way they present themselves, they can talk, they have the confidence, they are there. Even if a guy does, I've gone to a meeting that a guy spoke and like he said big things. I was so excited. But at the long I realized I know this guy, Chale.
Some people just talk.
People just, so we should also learn to be confident. We shouldn't, so far as you are on the work or you're on the project, you should stop seeing yourself as a woman. You are there to work. So it's the way you also present yourself. I have been at a meeting before with some MDs, with a bank and like lead people. And I think we were working on a project, there was an issue. And I was the main person working on it. So during the meeting, I had to explain myself. I had to talk about why we were going through some of the struggles we were going through. Then I think one of the bosses raised an issue and he was wrong. So there and there, I don't know whether it was the right thing to do, but I was like, sir, please, I think what you are saying, you are wrong. That statement I made, you were a woman. One guy at the meeting, you're a woman. Why should you even tell
a man that he is wrong?
So our mentality right from the beginning is a problem. So I had to tell them that I was there for work and not to talk about this assault, right?
Yes, please.
And not to talk about or not to come and box myself as a woman and that. So seriously, that thing, it was really serious. And I've been on a project and I had to train someone and the person is a guy. And the guy didn't see why a woman should come and train him.
Like, really?
Yes. And because of that, he abandoned the project.
What?
Yes. Like, he didn't leave the entire job, but he was not supporting, he was not providing the needed information he got from us to work. So the project was a standstill for a while till the company had to go through some issues. Then they called us back. Then they have to bring other new people for me to train. So
interesting.
It's a mindset out there. And honestly, there are days I get home and I break down. I cry. I won't act as if it's all perfect. Because I ask myself so many questions. Out there, I look tough, I look hard. Oh, I have patience or your bad, but we your back control. But seriously, it's not always like that. Days I finish and I go, I'm like,
it's better to cry at home and get a job done at home.
Getting your salary as a woman, you shouldn't downplay on your confidence.
And you shouldn't even use your gender to classify
you are there
your
to
capabilities.
What you are doing, a guy is also doing. So why do they have to pay him better than you? No. So you have to also bargain your power, your self-will. I think we as women, and one other thing, if you're a woman and you know what you're about, they tag you as bossy. They tag you as a very harsh person. And me, I would say that how in dealing with all this money, how to negotiate, how to even present myself, I really, really had to work on my mindset to know that this is what I carry. And this is what I am about, and this is what I am going to deliver, and this is its worth. Now, as a consultant, when you are negotiating, you should also consider. Let's say if I get a project right now, nobody pays my SNIT, I'm not working 8 to 5, nobody pays my hospital bills, nobody pays other things that when you are working 8 to 5 job, they will take care of. They will take up those responsibilities and your third year insurance and all those kind of things. So you have to learn how to calculate all that into the money you are charging. So
often we don't do that, especially when the company is not going to pay for your SNIT and tithe. We say SNIT and tithe, SNIT and VAT. We often forget that we need to add that before we even talk about our net salary, because deductions and everything goes into the gross salary. And once all these stuffs are being deducted, then we can say, okay, at the end of the month, I take home this amount of money. And I'm very, very happy that you've mentioned that we shouldn't forget that.
Yes. So, Miss, one thing that I consider when I am negotiating as a consultant, so I try to put in all those calculations, and I also try to check if I am on your project for the next 6 months. With the money I am mentioning, will it support me? let's say for the next 6 months, no project come and you are the only person I'm working for. So I should be able to chart that in 6 months or to a year, it will be able to sustain me. It will be able to sustain me. So I look into all those things. Yes. So basically, that's it.
Thank you very much, Patricia. It's been a wonderful experience with you today. And from what she was talking about, you could tell that she really knows and understands her stuffs. So we are done. I'm about to eat. She is about to serve me. And I'm about to eat the food and give her my verdict, right? And thank you, everyone, for still tuning in with us. This is TechChef Africa. I am your host, Nana Efwa Benyao. All right, guys. Finally, this episode has come to an end. And as you can see, Chalemi Dagushi stew, I am admiring it from afar. So we are done with the food. Sis Pat is coming to serve me, then I'll give her my verdict. But before that, I want her to look straight into the camera and give her last words of encouragement for especially every woman who wants to pursue a technical role in the banking sector.
Okay, so what I would say is it's not easy out there. If you're a woman, now what is happening in the tech space is they give preference to women. They give us the opportunity to come and prove ourselves. You can only prove yourself if you have prepared, if you have learned. I know a lot of young girls that tell me they want to code. You start teaching them 1, 2, then they run away. It's not easy. I'll be blunt with you. I'll be honest with you. It's not easy, but with determination, with focus, trusting in what you are building. And I want to encourage our women or our ladies in the space. This is a field that it's more like, as I said in our earlier conversation, it's more like a vocation you are learning. So it's a skill. I say in sandwich, let me see it in tree, so that you know that a butter or a cow. So because of that, you need to put in all your best. So in the tech space as a whole, not even just in the banking sector, wherever you find yourself as a woman, especially in the tech space, you need to just make sure that you are up for the game. You are always learning to improve yourself. We women, we tend to break away from work because of childbirth, because of other duties that comes in. But let me tell you, my sisters, if you learn these skills of software development, software engineering, let me put it, programming or coding, as is commonly said, it's a skill that becomes part of you. You carry it everywhere you go. Nobody takes it away from you. I know people who are on maternity leave or they stop their job and they're home and they're coding. I have a friend even in the US where she's working at home. She has given birth. When your skill is needed, you are sorted after. So let's build our skills.
All right, when your skills is needed, you are sorted after. Thank you very much, Sis Pat. So please serve me and let me eat at this point. Let me just help you. So this can go here gently, and this can also come here gently.
Okay, so let me know if you are okay.
Yes, please. I'm okay for now. Please don't judge me. I just eat small. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So with the sauce,
Chai.
in fact, this is one of my favorite recipes I enjoy cooking.
Okay. I think my stew is fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see. Oh, please add some Norwegian song. And now we after.
Yes, May after.
All right, guys. So at this point, it's you and I. Oh, you can really dance. Okay. Lord Jesus, as we pray, we thank you for starting with us and ending with us. We thank you for the person who cooked for us today. And we thank you for the soul that moderated everything today. Whilst we eat, may we be filled and strengthened within your blood. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
I'm waiting for you to taste it first.
Okay. Oh, Charlie. Now let's break the fast. Oh. Wait, the one mama kaya me young cookie. Grand up. We'll share video with dear. Next time I am a young wine. Hey. Seriously, the stew is nice.
It's very nice.
Very nice. And it has this aroma some taste like when it touches your tongue and the up of your, I don't know the name of that place. The stew is nice. I think for my verdict, I've tasted different palava sauce, but maybe with rice. But behind the scenes, I'll try it with ampesi. So with rice, I'll give you honestly, I'll give you, no one has taken 100 yet, so I'll just give you 95.
Okay.
95.
All right.
95, but the stew is nice. Pepper is on point, the taste is on point. The salt, depending on how you want your salt, but me, this is okay for me. Sis.
Yeah. So we just don't cook. We cook as well.
She's good. She's indeed a tech chef. She is. I'll be coming to your house. Nowadays, when I want,
you're invited.
Contemporary stew, I'll just buy my ingredients and come to your house. This is really good. Okay, guys. Thank you for all you've done by watching this very quality content with a very beautiful lady part. So I would want to use this opportunity to say that for you watching right now, for everyone who have watched our past season, which is season 1, and even with this current season, season 2, to the very end, today being the last episode for season 2, I really deeply value you, your time, your energy, and your willingness to learn from like specialists, right? People who understand the system, people who understand the word and the advices or nuggets that they give to us. I don't just host this show, I get to learn just as you are also learning. If you want to come on TechChef Africa, maybe as a guest, or you want to just come and taste the food that our beautiful guests come in to cook for us, just send me a DM on all our social media platforms, or even comment on this particular video, and I'll find a way to interact with you and get you to the kitchen. Thank you all, and see you in the next season. Bye bye. All right.